Yo, what's up and welcome inside the opening line, Corey and Benny. Benny's still down the shore. I'm still in the city. Nice day yesterday, Benny. Had a big day with some bets. How did yours go?
Yeah, it was good. Hit the over on that early game with KC and Toronto. The prize pick plays all worked out there. Justin Smoke didn't start, but if you played the other guys, they all went over. Basically, everybody in that game went over. So we had good situations everywhere. I'm actually outside. You can hear the cicadas right now going off in the trees in the background.
Oh, Benny, I don't play that. I don't play that. See, what people don't understand, Jersey has a more dormant cicada.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying?
The ones in the South a little crazier?
The ones, when I lived in D.C., those ones are no joke. Those ones is like human beings. Like wherever, that 2 or 3 week span that they come out, wherever you go, they're there. You know what I'm saying? Because
I've been seeing a lot of them lately around here too, but they kind of stay away. They hang in the trees and they just make that stupid sound all day long.
The ones in D.C., they don't do that. The ones in D.C., how often do they come in Jersey?
It's the same thing. You said there's like a 2 3 week span in the summer. You see them all the time.
Oh, but you get them every summer?
No, they come like I think they're like once every couple of years or so.
In D.C., in the D.C. area, they come once every 17 years.
Okay.
So I don't know how it ended up working out where I was there, maybe not 17 years. I think it's maybe once every 7 years or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I happened to be there, like my first year there, they came.
Right.
I had no clue. It basically, you know how you got the long extension cords, the old school brown extension cords?
Yep.
It sounds like somebody's just twirling one of those joints in the air.
Yep.
The bugs, if you're not familiar with it, they're about the size of your thumb. And they're blind. So they can't see. That's why they run into stuff.
Yep.
Run into stuff, they stick on you. Can you imagine walking around with a thumb on you? You know what I'm saying?
It's basically like a fly, but it's like a fly on steroids. It's like
exactly.
Those big ass fly. Yeah.
Yeah. My daughter has been around for one of their years too, and little to be said that so I remember my daughter freaked out. My son Jaden was a little boy when they first came. And he was like, the cicada got on me. I was like, I know, son. Yeah. Let's get inside quick. But people, the way they stick to you, people bring them inside the buildings because they don't know it's on them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they get stuck in your jacket or something like that when you're walking in. Yep.
Oh, it's a disaster. You know what I'm saying? So that's a quick cicada lesson. So yep. I would be in the house if I was down there, Benny.
We don't just do sports here, Corey. We bring you a little bit of science action. We bring you a little bit of insect stuff. You know, you get all kinds of knowledge on this
lifestyle program. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna get into Nike today because I can't do. I'm not getting down with that because I don't want no hate mail. Mm-hmm. If that was the case, what Nike saying about the Betsy Ross shoe and Colin Kaepernick, like you didn't have to put that out there. You know what I'm saying? That just keeps it going. You know what I mean? So
yeah. For those who don't know what Corey's talking about, basically Nike had it's kind of like an Air Force One, like just an old regular low cut kind of shoe, and then in the back of it they had the old Betsy Ross flag, the one with like the stars in the circle.
Yeah, the original Star Spangled Banner.
Right, and the whole controversy, or at least the story, is that they yanked it from the shelves because Kaepernick said something about it being like, you know, times or something like that, or a symbol of slavery or whatever. So they yanked it off the shelves, and now they're making a big deal about it. And the PC police are on one side, and the anti-PC people are on the other side. And it's, you know what?
It's too much.
Just another one of those things for Twitter to argue about.
Exactly. It's too much, and Nike did a bad job. If that was the case, just pull the shoe. Don't put it out there. You know what I'm saying? So Nike is clearly aligning themselves as a brand that, you know, they don't care what they do. It's publicity stunt. You know what I'm saying? So
agree. Because you know what? We're talking about it. So if that was their goal, then they got their goal out of it. They got people talking.
That's correct. But on a sad note, I want to say condolences to Tyler Skaggs, the Los Angeles Angels family, and you know what I'm saying, and their fan base, all of that. But yeah, I don't outside of the local area, I don't follow much baseball. but being a guy that's been around fantasy circles for years now, I've heard the name Tyler Skaggs, and he always seemed like a player that was getting ready to come into his own. From what I understand, he was doing that this season.
Yeah, I mean, he's only 26, 27 years old, and he's been around, like you said, he's been around for a couple years in the majors, and that's what happens with a lot of these young pitchers. It takes you 2 or 3 years to figure out, how to pitch at this level. I mean, if you're a Major League Baseball pitcher, throughout your entire life, growing up in Little League and high school, if you played college at all or in Double-A or Single-A, you pretty much just went out there and dominated. Like, that's how you made it to the major leagues, because you were that kind of guy. Skaggs was always a very good pitcher. He was always a big prospect. He came up at like 23, 24 years old and struggled a little bit. And I mean, again, 23, 24 years old, he's supposed to struggle a little bit. But he got better every year. This year he was pitching well. Last year he pitched pretty damn well. I mean, it's just a shame, And from the other thing, too, is like when something like this happens, you listen around the league. And the thing that shocked a lot of people is like he was apparently one of the good guys, Like he was a really good person. He was a really good guy. I still don't know the whole story. I don't know if you saw like what occurred. I mean, basically, I found out about 5 minutes before they went on the air to do the live stream over here at Elite Fantasy last night. They announced that he had passed away and that they had canceled the Angels and Texas Rangers game from last night. So
Yes.
I still haven't heard of what exactly the deal was. I don't know if he had a heart attack or something like that happened. I have no idea what the deal is, but definitely a sad story either way.
Well, they've ruled out foul play. He was found non-responsive inside the team's hotel, inside the team hotel. Felt like I said, once again, foul play has been ruled out.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a sad situation right there. Young man, young family, you hate to see that go down. So that was something else we got to. But as far as the betting night for me last night, Benny, I hopped in there early on the NBA Summer League.
Okay.
Good to say that we had a good night last night. We were 4-1. It's only 4 games, but we did hit a money line last night to a plus money line last night. Should have been a bigger night than that, but I let the Utah thing take it. Get me a little bit not rattled, but I made a bad decision on the Utah Jazz game that I probably shouldn't have. But I'll explain a little bit later on when we give out our picks later on. Myself and Benny, you can find both of our selections in the Elite Sports Betting package right now. You can get full site access, so you go over there and check it out, elitesportsbetting.com, and sign up, and you get the picks that me and Benny make throughout the day. Of course, we continue to give you some picks here, but it will also be adding stuff in the Elite Sports Betting package. Benny, you had a good day in baseball yesterday.
Yeah, went 2-1. Like I said, the Toronto KC game early made some money for me. Hit the over on that Milwaukee-Cincinnati game. Like I said, every time these two teams play, whether it's in Milwaukee or it's in Cincinnati, two really good hitters, Parks, you always get a lot of runs in that one. So it started off slow, man. In the 5th inning, it was 1-1, and I was like, this 10 over-under is not looking good. And then I think the final score wound up being something like 8-5 or something like that. You had, a lot of runs scored in those last 3 or 4 innings off the relievers. So they came through. They put up the runs. They made the win there. The one bet I lost yesterday, though, Corey, was the kid that I liked, the kid Logan, the rookie from San Diego.
Yeah.
I got knocked around a little bit, gave up like 5 runs in 5 innings, and then the bullpen gave up a bunch more. How often do the San Francisco Giants score 13 runs? I'm okay losing that every once in a while. That's not going to happen too often.
The Summer League games didn't come up until about 5 o'clock yesterday, 4 or 5 o'clock. So I was in here napping, and I was like, I didn't see the Summer League games up. So, I had already been through both teams' rosters, so I'm all the teams' rosters, so I knew where I wanted to go. But when I didn't see them listed, I was like, well, screw it. And I put a baseball parlay together. The San Diego Padres would have been in that parlay if I played it. So there you go right there. That I know because I had seen a couple cats that I trust was on the Padres. So that Rays team total hit. Our boy MLB Dream, his team totals are heating up again. You know what I'm saying? I've noticed at least 4 of the last 5. You know what I'm saying, Benny? So on that. So don't forget Elite Sports Betting. And then, like I said, we do got some picks coming up in a little bit from now. Obviously, big World Cup coming up today and Women's World Cup. And then we do got some baseball and some summer league for later on tonight. And prize picks and stuff like that. Benny, I'm going to hop into NFC East totals right quick. We'll just do the NFC East so we don't have to go through the whole NFC and have a 3-hour download.
Yeah, that was a long show the other day with the AFC totals. Yeah, we'll do them division by division this time.
Yeah, because I'm sitting up here at 12 o'clock. I'm like, this thing still ain't loaded yet. But yeah, let's kick it off in DC. With the Skins, you know what I'm saying? Benny, you can do most of the heavy lifting on this one because I don't know if I'm going to be a biased person. The number is sitting at 6. It's minus. It just changed as I'm talking. That's crazy. That's wild. As I'm talking, the juice just changed from minus 160 to minus 150 for DC to go over 6 wins in the 2019 season. Like I said, Benny, I would blindly saying it right now, I would say over. But as far as we going through the games and stuff like that, you're going to have to break it down because it's going to be hard for me to find some wins for them.
You know what's funny? Is before you said anything, whenever we do this, I always write down a number that I have in my head. 6 was the number I have in my head. So I feel like that's the number that they should be on right now, right there. And honestly, I don't know if I want to go over or under that. We'll have to go through the schedule. We'll see.
They start off weeks 1 and 2, back-to-back games in the division. Week 1, they are at Philadelphia. Week 2, they're home for Dallas.
All right, so they're 0-2.
Then they have Monday Night Football game against the Chicago Bears.
That's 0-3 for me.
Next, week 4, they're at the New York Giants.
That's 1-3 for me.
I think I mentioned before, I wouldn't be surprised if Dwayne Haskins started by week 4.
Week 4, I told you too. I think week 4 is the week he starts because I don't think you want to throw a rookie in on Monday Night Football against Khalil Mack and the Bears defense. I don't think you really want to do that. So if you can get through those first 3 weeks and then you let him start the Giants, they could go on a run from there because honestly, I don't think the Giants are all that good.
A run is going to be tough because week 5, they have the New England Patriots.
God, that's a tough first 5, man.
It's rough.
Other than the Giants, I think the other 4 teams they play there are all teams that are potential playoff teams this year, you know?
They were all teams were playoff teams last year, too.
Yeah.
So there you go with that one. Week 6, it gets a little bit easier. The Miami Dolphins.
Could win that game. That's a winnable game.
Then they travel they're home for San Francisco.
That's a winnable game.
They're at Minnesota.
Man, I don't love Minnesota, but I don't really think it's a good one. Like, I don't even want to put that in a maybe. I'm putting that in the loss column.
Thursday Night Football. That's Kirk Cousins versus DC.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think they win that game.
Then you got week 9, they're on the road again at Buffalo.
That's a winnable game.
They got their bye in week 10.
Okay.
Then they are in DC for the Jets.
I mean, I like the Jets, but I considered this a win for the Jets, so I'm gonna consider a loss for them when we go this way.
We should go to that game, Benny. It's not a bad trip.
It's at DC or it's at New York?
DC, 1:00 start. You know what I'm saying?
What weekend?
This is Sunday, November 17th.
Week before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We'll revisit this conversation.
The Detroit Lions in week 12.
I think Detroit beats them, but it's winnable.
At Carolina in week 13.
I don't think that's winnable.
At Green Bay in week 14.
I don't think they win it, but whatever, we'll see.
The next 2 games, week 15 and 16, are the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants.
I think they could beat the Giants. I don't think they could beat the Eagles.
And they end up, their last game of the season is in Big D at the Jerry's Football Palace in North Texas.
This is a tough schedule, Corey. I got to go under.
That's 6. I had the over on that 6. It looks shaky now, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, this because with giving them like the Lions, and I think there were 2 other games in there that I was like, you know, these are winnable games, but I don't know if they win them. I still only have them with 6 winnable games and probably 10 losses.
Yeah.
So I think that 6 number is a little high. What are you getting on the under that 6 number? You said it was minus 150 for the over, right?
The under is plus 125.
I'd rather be on plus 125 for the under 6 with the Redskins.
All right, up next is I'm about to say the world champion, but I do not have to call them the world champions. I have to call the Philadelphia Eagles the world champions ever again, Benny. Let me see if I can pull up their schedule right here. The Eagles number is, I'm about to say, I should know this on top of my head. The Eagles number is 9.5, with the juice being on the under at plus 135. The over is coming in at minus 160 for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm having trouble putting up their schedule, Benny. You want to stall for me?
Yeah, I mean, minus 160 in general for 9.5 wins. I mean, you're almost basically Vegas is banking on them getting over 10 wins and saying, that's going to be tough. So we got to try to figure out. I'm not even going to bother with the games that they can win. Like, they'll beat the Giants at least once, most likely twice. They'll beat the Redskins at least once, most likely twice. So that's 4 wins right there.
The Eagles will lose a game to the Redskins.
You think so?
Yeah, they will.
All right, so, I mean, you got at least 3 wins right there.
Let me tell you something, Benny. The game is going to be mean more to the Eagles than it's going to mean to D.C., and D.C. will beat them. That's the way it always goes. That's the way it always goes. Philadelphia will lose a late-season game in Washington.
So I know you're going to be biased on this, but do you say they split with Dallas? Because that's what I would think.
I'll give them the split.
All right, so if you give them a split, we only got to find 4 more losses here for them. If we can find 4 more losses or more here for them, then that's under 10.
At the Falcons.
I mean, I think they can beat them, but I'll put that in the maybe category.
At the Packers.
I don't think they win both of those games on the road. So they're going to lose one of those 2 games. So I'm going to give them 1 loss right there and 1 maybe.
At the Vikings.
I think they can beat the Vikings.
I think they can beat the Vikings too.
Yeah.
That's going to be a tough. That's a lot of good games.
It's not an easy game, but I think they win it.
That's a 1:00 start on October 13th. You mentioned the division games against Dallas. Obviously, they should get a victory over the Buffalo Bills. Week 9, November 3rd, home game in Philadelphia versus the Chicago Bears. Double joint rematch.
That's an interesting game. I mean, it's definitely going in the maybe category. I'm not going to say they can win it. I'm not going to say they can lose it. That's one that I won't bet on when we get there either.
Home game versus the New England Patriots.
See, they got the Bears at home. They got the Patriots at home. A lot of their tougher opponents here are coming out at home. You know what I mean? So you always like to see that. That's always a positive when you got your tough games at home.
A Thursday night game versus the Seattle Seahawks. At home.
At home. Again, put it this way. I would consider them at worst maybes for all 3 of those games because they're all in Philly. If those 3 games were all on the road, I would consider at least 2 of them losses.
They end the season. They go to the Dolphins. Then they end the season with the NFC East, 2 games against the Giants. Obviously, December 22nd, the game against Dallas will be the big one right there. Kind of my guess is to determine the division. But, that's not week 17, so you never know what can be happening. Where do you have them at right now, Benny? About 9?
I actually have them over 10 right now, so I agree with Vegas. Again, though, are you going to take 9.5 at minus 160? To me, that's not value.
No, I agree with you. That's not a value on that one right there. The Eagles unfortunately probably can get to 10 wins. I don't know. My thing with the Eagles is the quarterback. Like, is he the real deal?
I'm glad you say this because people have, anointed him off of, 10 good games that first season?
Yeah.
And since then he's been hurt. A lot of times when we have these guys that are hurt every year, we always knock them. Why does Carson Wentz get a pass for being hurt every year?
I don't understand. I don't understand that either. When he was in there last year, he wasn't good also. And you heard a lot about him complaining. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
He hit their stride last year when Nick Foles got in there. I think the jury is still out on Wentz. Don't get me wrong. That 10 games before he tore his ACL, he was very good. Awesome. He was having an MVP season. The young Ben Roethlisberger. But the thing about it is he's starting to act like Ben Roethlisberger, so that's not a good look.
So here's my thing, Corey. Do you think Nick Foles is a good quarterback?
No. I think he's a system quarterback.
100%, and I agree with you that I don't think Nick Foles is that good of a quarterback. I also don't think that Philly played that much better with Wentz than they did with Foles. If anything, you could probably make the argument that they might have even played better under Foles, which is why I don't understand this Wentz love. He's
young.
But that's the thing. I don't want to say the guy can't get better because he's still young, but I need to see more before I'm willing to use a high draft pick on this guy or really put a lot of faith behind Carson Wentz. To me, those Eagles teams won because they were built well from top to bottom. Good receivers, solid tight ends, a nice stable of running backs, pretty solid defense. they were a complete team. They didn't win. It wasn't like they won because of the quarterback. It was almost like they won in spite of it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I agree with you, Benny. What I think, I look at it the way I look at the like last year. When like not just last year, but every playoffs it seemed like. Just because you want the Patriots to lose in the playoffs doesn't mean they're going to lose in the playoffs. Just because you want Carson Wentz to be the face of a franchise doesn't mean he's going to be the face of a franchise. Eagle fans, generally the NFL, want him to be the face of their franchise. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. And that's how I look at it. This is a big year for him. Dallas Cowboys, the number is 9, Benny. The juice is on the over at plus 110. So there you go. So you already know which way I'm going. I will be an unbiased. I will try to be as unbiased as possible with this one, Benny. We start New York Giants and the Washington football team.
So they're 2-0.
Then a trip to Miami.
3-0.
And then on the Sunday night, September 29th, at New Orleans.
At New Orleans, I'm gonna say 3-1.
You know we beat them last year, Benny.
Like you said, you're the biased one. I'm trying to be the unbiased one. If you told me they had New Orleans at home, maybe it would be different. At New Orleans, that's a tough place to play.
This is
Put it this way: if you gave me even money on Dallas, New Orleans at New Orleans, my money's going on New Orleans. So
that's a smart bet. So I agree with you on that one. October 6th, this is week 5. The Dallas Cowboys nemesis, the Green Bay Packers, invade AT&T Stadium.
I still consider that a win. 4-1 for me.
Green Bay has been very tough on Dallas. At least Aaron Rodgers has.
So are you saying we should be 3-2 here? Or are you saying we should go there? So how about we go 3-1?
I'll take the Packer win. Because I think
we're going to go 3-1 and a maybe. How's that?
All right. October 13th, we discussed this, Benny, that's at the New York Jets.
4-1 and a maybe.
Hey, Vinny, Dallas Cowboy fans want to invade the Jet game.
You know what the difference is, though? Like, again, if it was the Giants, like my next-door neighbor down here is an Eagles fan. He's got a big Eagles sign in front of his house. And my wife's like, oh, man, you guys aren't going to get along. I said, no, I'm a Jets fan. I said, we both hate the Giants, so we're going to be fine. I said, we're going to be boys. This isn't going to be a problem.
It's going to be a good time in the Meadowlands. You know what I'm saying? As Jet fans and Cowboy fans raise the glass.
That's it, man. Anytime, like it's that old shirt, right? Like my 2 favorite teams in the NFL are the New York Jets and whoever's playing the Giants or something like that, and vice versa. And it's the same thing for the Cowboys.
Sunday night, October 20th, a big one. Sunday night football, a big one in Big D. The Philadelphia Eagles come to town.
So I'm going to give them the win at home. I'm going to give them the loss on the road. I'm going to split it up that way.
All right. The one on the road is the one late in the season. Then they have
week 17, right?
Yeah, they have the week 8 bye. No, week 16.
Week 16, okay.
The week 8 bye. Come out of the bye, and they're back in New York against the New York Giants this time.
That's a definite win.
Yes, that is true. That game is a Monday Night Football game. Why they got to put? I guess they got to put the Giants on Monday Night Football.
You got to put Saquon Barkley on Monday Night Football.
That is very true, Benny. You are correct about that. November 10th, another night game. The Cowboys have only in their first 11 weeks of the season, the Cowboys played 2 1:00 games.
And the rest are all Monday night, Sunday night.
Monday night, Sunday, or the America's game of the week, 425. Dallas Cowboys will continue to dominate your television screens. November 10th, Sunday night football in Big D versus Kirk Cousins and the Vikings.
I give them the win over the Vikings at home.
After that, they go on the road to the Detroit Lions.
I give them that win.
Next week,
I got them at 8 already. What week are we in? I got them at 8 already.
Man, week 12.
Okay.
The next week is another monster matchup. This time it is in Foxborough, Massachusetts. America's game of the week, the Dallas Cowboys at the New England Patriots.
Nah, I'm not giving them that one.
That one is tough, Benny. That one is tough.
Again, the way I look at it is if you give me even money, Dallas against New England in New England, I'm taking New England. So I'm not giving them that one.
On November 28th, easier matchup in Big D versus the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I'll give them the Buffalo win.
Then back on the road for another night game, December 5th, a nighttime game that sounds like a Thursday night, a nighttime game at the Chicago Bears.
That's a tough one.
That is tough right there.
Well, I have them at 9 already. So if you have one other game here that looks like a win for them, I'm looking at – you're getting juice on the over too?
Yeah, you're getting juice on the over. The stretch is not – outside of that Bills game, though, from week 12 to the end of the season, it can get rough.
I was going to say, because so far we do not have a very tough schedule here for Dallas.
After starting with that Patriots game, it's Patriots, Bills, at Bears, home for Rams. He ran for 400 yards against them in the playoff game. Then at Philadelphia and close down shop with a game versus DC. DC should give them the 10th win.
Yeah, that you might have to. But even all those tough games that you're talking about, they're not going to lose them all.
No, they can beat the
Rams. You know what I'm
Rams.
saying? Like, I mean, I have them as like losses or maybes. Like, a maybe means it could go either way. Like, they're not going to lose all 6 of those games. At least I don't think they are, unless they have some injuries or something. So I'd be willing to take the over on the Dallas.
Yeah, I would take the over on Dallas. Well, Benny, I'm going to bet them all the way. But
well, I know you're taking the over on Dallas. You're a Dallas guy, but I mean, I don't think I think that's actually the smart bet is over 9 with the Cowboys.
Next up is the one thing I would keep an eye on. You probably hear. Listen, I don't think it's much, but who knows with Roger Goodell? You never know. Ezekiel Elliott's going to be up here, and he'll be on Fifth Avenue today, as a matter of fact, to meet with Roger Goodell about that little incident inside at that amusement park or whatever.
I don't remember the story, to be honest with you, but whatever.
It's a whole bunch of do about nothing. You know what I'm saying, Benny? But now it's time for my favorite and your favorite, the New York Giants. Their schedule.
Under. You don't even have to go through it. Under. What's the number?
6.
Yeah, under.
I agree. You know what I'm saying?
I feel bad for Saquon Barkley, but listen, you got rid of your best playmaker. All right, you can argue Saquon Barkley, but you got rid of one of your 2 best playmakers in Odell Beckham. You have a declining quarterback who you're still putting out there as the starter as of now. And if you don't have him, then you have a rookie out there who, I don't care how good you are, you're still a rookie. I mean, Peyton Manning threw 20-something interceptions his rookie year too. I don't see how the Giants get over 6. You let like 2 of your best defensive players walk out the door. I mean, how is this team better this year than they were last year? I don't get it.
I don't see it either. So bet the under on the Giants. We'll spare you going through the schedule. You already know it's the AFC East, and then it's going to be teams like the Vikings and the Packers that they can't beat anyway. So they'll probably get that win against the Buffalo Bills. I don't think they can beat the Jets. So, whatever. I'm fine with that.
Is that a Jet home game or a Giant home game this year?
Oh, that's interesting. Let me check that out.
Because I want to know which one. I want to know which person in my family I have to be nice to try to get those tickets. Because I got an uncle with Jets tickets and I got an aunt with Giants tickets. They're both good seats. I got to know whose ass I got to kiss more.
The New York Jets would be the home team.
All right, so good. My godfather. I'm going to that game then.
The New York Jets would be the home team. That is week 10. So there you go right there. November 10th. So that might be a holiday weekend. No, that holiday will be on Tuesday, not that Monday. All right, Benny, what do we got? Women's World Cup. Can we get is our girl going for it today?
Yeah, I mean, Women's World Cup. Today's the U.S. Semifinal game for the U.S. They're going up against England. Only a -120 on the U.S. team. So I'm taking the U.S. team. Maybe it's partially my heart, partially the fact that they just keep winning me money throughout this entire series anyway. So I'm going to keep riding the hot streak with them. Again, they are the favorites to win it all. They're in the semifinals right now. England's not a bad team, but the U.S. should wind up winning this game. If you're looking to make a score on this game, though, I like the 120. I'm going to have some money on the 120. If you play on DraftKings Sportsbook, if you bet, what was the year of independence? 1776. You bet $17.76. They're going to give you $5 for every goal the U.S. team scores. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. The score of this game is going to be like 2-1, 2-0, 1, it's the soccer. We're not going to get 12 runs like we did in a Yankee game and get a $50 bonus, but still, free money is free money. You might.
They smacked one and they beat a team like 13-0, something like that.
Yeah, but that was in the first round. That team had no business being there and was going to get knocked out of the tournament. This is the semifinal round. Like, all the teams that are left right now are at least very good to great. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to make money on this game, one of the things you can do, last game we got a nice plus 500 on Megan Rapinoe to score and the U.S. to win. Today, DraftKings is offering Rapinoe to score first and the U.S. to win is like plus 520 on the DK Sportsbook. She basically has like the last 4 goals that we've scored. She takes the penalty kicks. She takes a lot of the a lot of the free kicks when there's fouls down in the zone as well. And she can just score in the regular run of play because she's an absolute beast. So Rapinoe to score the first goal and to win plus 520 is worth a little sprinkle of something too, so that you can get a little bit of a bigger upside if you want.
I'm looking at on FanDuel, I got Rapinoe, to score in 90 minutes and the USA to win at plus 200. I also have Megan Rapinoe as the first goal scorer at plus 350. Think it's a good idea to get in on both of those?
Well, like I said, on DraftKings, Megan Rapinoe to score first and the U.S. to win is plus 500. So I'd rather take it on DraftKings for a couple bucks if you're going to do it. But I do like Rapinoe to score. I mean, she is basically the best weapon that we have for the U.S. So having her score a goal in this game, put it this way, if she doesn't score a goal in this game, I don't see us winning because we're going to need to get 2 or 3 goals, and she's going to need to get one of them because she's basically been our whole offense lately.
There you go. So Megan Rapinoe needs to get it done. All right, moving right along, Benny. I'll hop over to the NBA right now. Before I set up some of these summer leagues, any interesting news going down yesterday as far as roster construction and how these teams will be built for next season?
Yeah, a couple things. The big thing that stood out to me the most was Kevon Looney signing a 3-year, $15 million deal to go back to Golden State. He could have got more money on the open market. Somebody would have paid him more than that. So he must have really wanted to go back to Golden State. I don't think it's a horrible decision because, I mean, playing with the guys that he's playing with in Golden State, he had a pretty good year this year. What I was surprised with, though, if you looked up his per 36-minute numbers last year, 15 points, 9 rebounds per 36 in the regular season, 17.7 rebounds in the playoffs. That's really solid. For $5 million, I think the Golden State Warriors got a deal on that one. Your Knicks made another signing yesterday, Corey. Wayne Ellington, another 2-year deal with Wayne Ellington.
Oh, hell.
Yeah, put it this way. The Knicks have definitely put decent players on this roster to get better. They have done it in a smart way where they gave everybody 2-year deals to reload for the 2021 free agency run, which is what we talked about yesterday as well. When I said Knicks fans, here's the silver lining for you. Now, are you going to win anything with Julius Randle, Wayne Ellington, and Taj Gibson as your core pieces? Probably not. Are you going to be in a position in 2021 to sign some free agents? Probably, which is the good thing. Are you going to get any? As we talked about yesterday, this has been an 11-year tank job that they've been on right now, setting up for the next free agency. And it hasn't happened yet. So I can't really tell you that even if they do what they're doing here and making the right moves, that anybody's going to want to sign in New York in 2021.
Well, here's the thing about it. The bottom line, the only way people sign with the Knicks in 2020 is if R.J. Barrett becomes a A-list NBA superstar. So there you go right there. The whole franchise is on the Maple Mamba. Speaking of the young basketball, so the Summer League, right? Everybody knows Summer League mainly it gets started on Friday night when they get out to Vegas. Or it might be Friday night when they get out to Vegas. That's when, the entire league will be a part of the MGM Grand Las Vegas Summer League. Basically, the Summer League it's like a pro-am or a pro-am or like a street ball tournament, you know what I'm saying? Mainly first and second year players. You get a lot of G League guys and stuff like that. Guys that need to look. Guys that have been bouncing around the NBA and guys that are newer to the NBA. But before we get to Vegas later on in the week, yesterday, today, and tomorrow, you have basically what they call the Salt Lake Summer League.
Right.
Play round robin. 4 teams play round robins in Salt Lake City. And then you have the California Classic where you have the Lakers, the Warriors, and the Kings. And they're joined by the Miami Heat. Those 4 teams will also pack up later on this week and make the trip out to Las Vegas to be in the regular Summer League, which also this year will have Croatia and China in it. What I will say is these rosters are hard to find. for these teams, especially now. But if you like, I was able to find the rosters, and what I will say is, you want Benny to be on the teams that have more of their players that's been in the system already,
right,
on the team. You know what I'm saying, and playing. Because it's cool when the team have a whole bunch of rookies, whatever. They never played. They've had 3 days worth of training camp before they got to the summer league. You know what I mean? Whereas you saw it yesterday, for example, for the San Antonio Spurs, they got a big W yesterday. Lonnie Walker had 25 points. Well, Lonnie Walker played 17 games. You know what I'm saying? In the NBA.
Lonnie Walker from Maryland, right?
No, not that Lonnie Walker.
Oh, different one? Okay.
This is I don't think Lonnie Walker went to Maryland.
Big guy?
Huh?
Big guy or a guard?
A guard.
No, yeah, the Lonnie Walker from Maryland was a big guy.
Yeah. No, he would be way. I know you're talking about. He'd be way out the league by now. That man might be his old.
That's what I was gonna say. He'd be in his 30s because he wasn't much younger than me. I feel like I was in college watching him play. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, exactly. That man. He's. I don't know where Lonnie Walker's at, but God bless. Lonnie Walker and those great Terrapin teams.
You guys didn't think you were gonna hear random Maryland Terrapin.
How about that? You know what I'm saying? I remember I was
I'm about to bring back Juan Dixon and everybody else while we had it too.
I was in the bar with Juan Dixon one night in Greenbelt having some drinks. I looked over like, that's Juan Dixon.
Wasn't he he was a Wizard, wasn't he?
He played for the Wizards for a little bit.
Yeah.
Juan Dixon is, if I'm not mistaken, Juan Dixon probably is the head coach of the University of District of Columbia's basketball team. I'm pretty certain that's what Juan Dixon is doing right now. But anyway, tonight, like I said, I'll have these picks up in the Elite Sports Betting a little bit later on. But tonight we got Spurs and Grizzlies, two teams betting that both won last night. Lonnie Walker, they got this dude, Luka Samanic, for the Spurs. They like him a lot. He's an 18-year-old. They just took him in this draft. He played 28 minutes last night. So he's a player that they're going to be relying on. The Grizzlies brought mainly a team of Grizzlies because the Grizzlies are a young team. You know what I'm saying? So they basically brought the Grizzlies. They played well last night also. They're a 2.5 point favorite. No Ja Morant for the Grizzlies in this tournament. Ja Morant getting ready for training camp. Also tonight in Salt Lake City, you have the Cavaliers and the Utah Jazz. Benny, if you remember the guy, Dylan Windler from Belmont.
Yeah, the shooter.
The shooter. He lit it up yesterday for the Cavaliers. The Cavs still lost, but Windler looks like he could be a player. I believe he might have had 19. At one point in the game, he was 5 for 5. Like, he can really stroke it.
Yeah, and he's on a good team for it, too, because, I mean, we know that they don't have a lot of talent over there, so he should be able to find the court during the regular season, too.
One thing about the Cavaliers, John Beilein, is that their new head coach is actually coaching their summer league team, which is something that you very rarely see. But
I love Beilein. One of my buddies went to the University of Richmond and played basketball down there when he was the head coach down there. Awesome dude. There
you go right there. So John Beilein and the Cavaliers – and the Jazz are a 1-point favorite in this one. Now, these totals, Benny, they normally come in about that 166, 170 type range. Just don't automatically assume you're going to hammer it over. Summer league games are only 40 minutes. They're not 48 minutes. So you have to take that into consideration when you're looking at the total, not to mention the fact also when you talk totals in summer leagues, it may be you being the more analytical guy, Benny, you might see if you can get an edge from this. Then you cannot, every player, because the goal of the summer league is to see the players on the court, every player gets 10 fouls.
Okay.
So it's almost impossible to foul out.
Do they still play how many fouls for like 1-on-1 or 2 shots and all that?
Yeah, you can send people to the free throw line damn near the whole game.
All right, so, I mean, if you got some guards that are attacking the basket or some big guys that everyone's just, like, kind of hack-a-shacking, those guys, if there was, like, a DFS for it, you could probably get a lot of points out of those guys that are going to shoot a lot of free throws because of it.
Yeah. Lonnie Walker did a lot of his damage last night at the free throw line in that game. So when you're looking at these totals, like I said, I'll handicap it a little bit later on and it'll be up in the Elite Sports Betting package later. In California tonight, you got Lakers and Warriors. Warriors played a tough game last night. The Warriors are another team that their players are very young, and they come from all over because the Warriors are so set with their main roster, the bunch of G Leaguers and stuff like that. The Lakers team also is another team that's kind of set with their roster. So you got a lot of guys that are just G leaguers that bounce around. Maybe 2 or 3 dudes that were on the Lakers last year got a little burn last night. The Lakers are a 6.5-point underdog tonight. It's none of these summer league games. Well, this Golden State team, the way it's constructed, I've seen their roster. They can't beat nobody by 6.5 points. I will give you that one. And then finally, at the end of the night, at 11 p.m., Benny, the Miami Heat and the Kings. The Kings have good young players.
Yep.
But the Heat are one of the teams that Pat Riley don't play. He take the summer league serious. You know what I'm saying? So that should be a good one right there. But the Kings probably do have the most talent. Tyler Hero was lighting it up last night, Benny.
I didn't love that pick, but I've heard other people say good things about him too. So I'm gonna reserve my judgment until I get to see this kid play a little more. I mean, I liked him in college. I didn't know how well his game would translate to the NBA, but it's good to see that he's, lighting it up.
He got off to a good start. That's what we got on the summer league front. What we got baseball, Benny?
A couple things that I'm looking at here for tonight. First game, Miami Marlins and the Washington Nationals. I really like the under in this game. There's 2 good pitchers on the mound. The kid Zach Allen that's pitching for Miami, young pitcher. I think this is only about his 3rd start or so. Was very good in his first couple starts up there. Okay. Then on the other side, you got Patrick Corbin. His last start was against the same Miami team. Went 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 walk, 1 run, struck out 9. The over-under in this game is 9, and I don't really see how they get there because neither one of these offenses are explosive, and both of these pitchers are pretty good. So big fan of the under in that Miami-Washington game. That's probably my favorite bet of the day. My second favorite bet of the day, I really like the Minnesota Twins tonight. They're going up against Daniel Mengden, who really only had 1 good start, and his only good start of the season was his last start against the St. Louis Cardinals. But it goes back to something that I've been telling people for a while. The Cardinals absolutely suck against right-handed pitching. And if you look at their numbers on the season, they actually have the 2nd worst WRC plus against right-handed pitching of any team in the entire league. So Mengden having his 1 good start against literally the 2nd worst team at creating runs so far this season against righties doesn't make me think that all of a sudden Daniel Mengden is back to being like his peak condition self. On the flip side of this, the Minnesota Twins are number 3 in the league against right-handed pitching, 3rd highest WRC plus of 117. So I'm really looking for them to win. And they have one of their good pitchers on the mound tonight. Jake Odorizzi, who's an all-star this year and, has really pitched like it, is going up against an Oakland offense that isn't all that great. The thing I like the most about this, Corey, even though they're on the road, the Twins are only a minus 122 tonight. To me, that's amazing value because I really like them.
They're minus 112.
All right, so there you go. Even better, at minus 112. I just feel like you're getting such good value on that. To me, this should have been a minus 150, minus 160 kind of situation. So those are the 2 bets that I like the most tonight. And then I'm going to throw 2 other things out there for you. Matt Boyd, who's pitching for Detroit, in his last 5 starts, he's given up 3 home runs, 3 home runs, 1 home run, 2 home runs, and 1 home run. Jeez. There's only 1 elite bat on the Chicago White Sox against left-handed pitching, and that's Jose Abreu. Jose Abreu, since 2016, 390 WOBA, 249 ISO score, 148 WRC plus against lefties. When I looked this morning, they didn't have the player props up, but I'm looking to see what the number is on a home run prop for Jose Abreu.
Oh, I got it on FanDuel, plus 280.
I was hoping it was going to be plus 300. Plus 280 is not bad, and I do think there's a chance for him to hit a home run. But really, at plus 280, I don't really want to take anybody on a home run prop there. Look up one other prop for me.
Yeah, I was excited about that one, Benny.
I know. I mean, I like it. I think you can hit it, but at plus 280, you're basically giving him a 1 in 4 chance of hitting a home run.
All right, so Jose Abreu, the homer, and the White Sox to win is plus 490.
See, I don't want to do that, though, because I do think Boyd is the better. The White Sox, outside of Abreu, like Abreu's WRC plus is 148. I don't think they have another guy in the team that's over 110. So that's the real problem is outside of Abreu, there are no other bats on this team that I really like. It was a one-and-done kind of thing with him, and mostly because Boyd is just giving up home runs like crazy. The other one I like, though, KC is playing Cleveland today. Trevor Bauer's on the mound. His last start was actually against this Royals team. He went 6 2/3, 3 hits, 1 run, struck out 12 guys in 6 2/3 of an inning against KC the last time out. Cleveland's a minus 185 favorite today. It's just, I mean, I like them to win, but it's a big number, like minus 185. You're not getting a ton of value there. there may be some value in a K prop for Bauer. So what's the K prop for Bauer? That's the other one I was kind of looking at.
I always have a tough time finding the K props. Hold on one second. The K prop for Bauer, because sometimes they have them on the first page, sometimes they don't have them.
Yeah, sometimes you got to go digging. Like I said, I was looking on DraftKings and they didn't have them up yet. But if you can get Trevor Bauer with a K prop of like 8.5 tonight, I'd be taking the over to that, especially if it's a plus money thing. If it's like 9.5 or 10, that's asking a lot. I still think he can do it. I think he's going to pitch a good game, but I wouldn't be taking it at 9.5. At 8.5, I'd be interested.
All right, there you go right there. Let me see. I want to give him one last good look about, and I do not see it. I will get it started with Prize Picks. Don't forget myprizepicks.com, promo code ELITE to get involved. I don't see the ones, I don't think the K-Prop is up for Bauer yet either on FanDuel. My prize pick, I'll go WNBA tonight, and I want to focus on that game between the Chicago Sky and the Las Vegas Aces. I haven't played on FanDuel in a little while, Benny, but I do know the scoring system and that they have in basketball. So I give you 2 WNBA. I will go over on Asia Wilson and Liz Cambage. That's Liz Cambage and Asia Wilson for the for the Las Vegas Aces. I think those two ladies go over their number right there. The Aces might be the best team in the WNBA.
Yeah, so I'm going to throw 2 of them out there for you. I got a Women's World Cup one, and I got an MLB one for today as well. So the Women's World Cup one is easy for me. You know, like I said, Megan Rapinoe has basically been carrying the offense for the U.S. So Megan Rapinoe over 7.5 total points is one of them. And then on the other side, there's a girl, Ellen White on England, who is basically their version of, you know, the person who their entire offensive game plan is revolving around. So whether or not White gets a goal, she's the one that has all the shots on goal for them. She's the one that they're always trying to look for when they're doing corner kicks and things like that. So Rapinoe and Ellen White, 2 people in the Women's World Cup that I'd be looking to use as a 2x2 there. The baseball one is going to be very easy for me. Joe Musgrove is one of the struggle. His biggest struggle is coming against left-handed bats. 343 WOBA against lefties this year. Lefties have shown all the power against them. So you got Anthony Rizzo, a guy who absolutely crushes right-handed pitching, going up against Musgrove today, who's been struggling a little. So I really like Anthony Rizzo there. And then you got the Boston Red Sox going up to Toronto. And like yesterday, a lot of times what you're really looking for is to kind of, like in DFS, we kind of stack teams that we think are going to blow a pitcher up. It's the same thing with these prize picks. You know, yesterday it worked out with guys on Kansas City and Toronto. Today I'm looking for guys on the Red Sox. So we got Mookie Betts and JD Martinez going up against Thornton up in Toronto. I think the Red Sox are going to put up a big number here today. So I want a piece of Betts and JD Martinez. So Rizzo, Martinez, and Betts in a 3x3 for MLB over on Prize Picks. I think that's one that's going to make you some money today.
All right, there you go right there. Got those picks. Don't forget Elite Sports Betting. Hop in and get the rest of the picks that me and Benny will give out throughout the course of the rest of the day. Along with the rest of the team, giving it up every day. Major League Baseball, whatever it gives. We got you covered with that one. Big piece of chicken goes to the Los Angeles Angels organization. Obviously, throw some prayers out to the Angels family and obviously for that young man, Tyler Skaggs.
Yeah, I'm going to give mine out to Christian Yelich. Yelich hit another home run last night. 85 games this year. He's already got 30 home runs. So he's on pace to put up over 55 this season. That man is an absolute stud.
There you go, Christian Yelich. Who would have saw it coming? You know what I'm saying, Benny?
Vlad, I will say this. Vlad, every year, Vlad always sends me his preseason draft rankings. He had Christian Yelich ranked higher than anybody else 2 seasons ago when he won his first MVP award. So I'm going to give Vlad a big shout-out here, too, because Vlad Sedler had me on Christian Yelich everywhere. Made me a lot of money in season-long last year.
There you go. A little bit later on today, I'll be hopping on doing a free podcast with Jeff Mann's Fantasy Football Elite. So that'll get posted sometime later on today. Make sure you check out for that. But for my main man, Benny, Corey Parson, the Fantasy Exec, the opening line, we out.